All right, we're going to determine whether these are equivalent ratios using two different methods. The first method is we're going to find a common denominator for both the 2/3 and 3/6. And so if we do that, then we're going to have to multiply both 2 and 3 by 2 in order to get a denominator of 6. And so this is equal to then 4/6, because 2 times 2 is 4 and 2 times 3 is 6. Sorry, that's a 2. And so then that's 4/6. The other fraction, or the other ratio, is 3/6, so these are not equivalent. The other way we could have done this is set these equal to one another and then cross multiply to see if the product when we cross multiply is equal. So what we do here is, first of all, 2 times 6 is 12, and 3 times 3 is 9, and these are not equal, so these fractions or these ratios are not equivalent. For the next one, let's try a different color here. Don't know how well that's showing up. So if we're going to find a common denominator here for 5 and 10, well, 10 is a common denominator. That means we have to double both 4 and 5 in order to find a common denominator. So if we're going to find the common denominator, 4 times 2 is 8 over 5 times 2 is 10, and this is equal to 8/10 up here. So these are equivalent. And if we're going to do the cross multiply, and this is how we're going to solve proportions later on, what you notice is 5 times 8 is 40. It doesn't matter which one you do first. And 4 times 10 is also equal to 40. So since they're equal, they are equivalent. All right. We'll extend our page here. And go back to the green. And so here, 6/18 and 2/6, if we want to determine whether those are equivalent, well, 6 is a factor of 18, and so if we triple 6, we get 18. And so if we're going to look at 2/6, we're going to multiply both top and bottom by 3. Okay, 2 times 3 is 6 over 6 times 3 is 18, and that's equal to the 6/18. And so these ratios or fractions are equivalent. And using the other method, so if we look at 6/18 is equal to 2/6. If we cross multiply, 6 times 6 is 36, and that's equal to then 18 times 2 is also 36, and so these ratios are equivalent. Now over here, 16/3 and 45/9, what we'll do is we'll write these as fractions first. So this is 16/3 and 45/9. And you'll note that 3 times 3 is 9, so if we're going to find a common denominator, we have to triple both the 3 and the 36. Remember, you have to multiply top and bottom by the same number whenever you're finding a common denominator. So we're going to multiply 3 times 3, and we're going to do the same to the top, so that's 16 times 3. And 16 times 3 is 48/9, and 48/9 is not the same as 45/9, so these are not equivalent. And if we're going to use the cross multiplication method, 16/3 is equal to 45/9. And so if we're going to multiply 3 times 45, well, 3 times 40 is 120, and plus 3 times 5 is 135. And 16 times 9, well, 10 times 9 is 90, plus 6 times 9, which is 54. 90 plus 54 is 144. And so these two, these are not equal, so these two fractions are not equivalent.